doing the record button. Welcome, everyone. I'm glad you could join us today, and as I can see, more people are coming in as we start here. So tonight we have something very special. I really think you're going to be excited by this. We have the folks from Better here, and they are going to be demonstrating their solution for managing a practice using technology that just, I was thinking about it today. I can think of all kinds of other ways to use this technology to do a number of things. So I think it's suitable for both, one-on-one counseling, group programs, and even online programs as well. I can see, it's a way to engage people who sign up for online programs as well. So I'm going to introduce you now to Natalie Garcia and Graham Downs from Better, and I'm going to let them tell you their story. And so I'm going to turn it over to them, and then they're going to take you through a tour of the site as well as give you all the details about what this can do. So welcome, Natalie and Graham.
Thank you, Lorraine.
Thanks, Lorraine.
Hi, guys. I'm Natalie.
And I'm Graham.
So I'm a certified nutritional practitioner, holistic nutritionist, and co-founder of Better. And Graham here is our IT whiz and also our co-founder. So as Lorraine was saying, basically, we've created a solution to help you save time and money and then run your practice more efficiently. This is a real problem that I saw as soon as I got into building my own practice. And so we kind of put our brains together and decided if we could create one tool, to help nutritionists everywhere really just spend less time, on admin work and slashing their hourly rates because they're spending so much time on clients. Busy work, then, this is what we wanted to do. So I'm going to get into explaining a little bit of what Better is and the problems that we really wanted it to solve for you. So it's an all-in-one solution and it's cloud-based, which means you can access it anywhere you are, and that's the beauty. So let's look here. We've just got a couple of images. And this just made me think of what I looked like, what my desk looked like, what my expressions looked like when I first started practicing. Can anyone relate to this? I mean, unorganized papers, to-do lists everywhere. I remember honestly spending, an hour sending emails back and forth, maybe 10 emails back and forth just to book one session with a client. Forget if they wanted to reschedule. It was such a pain. Also on top of that, I was working out of multiple locations. So, that email you get from a client saying, what did you say I needed to do about XYZ? Or what if I, am experiencing this? And I don't have their file next to me. I can't responsibly give them an answer. And so I found that to be really difficult in getting back to my clients in a timely manner without having to, run across town to get to their physical file. So what's wrong with the current options right now? So right now, the options for us as nutritionists require us to use multiple applications. So you can be using scheduling applications, you can use form filling applications, invoicing applications, but none of them are actually talking to each other. So now you're logging into multiple locations, your clients may be logging into multiple locations, and it's just not really working seamlessly. The other thing is that a lot of these programs that are out there are actually designed for other sorts of practitioners. So a lot of them are actually for medical doctors. There are some for maybe acupuncturists and that sort of thing, but not necessarily for us. So if we're using one of these other programs that are designed for these other practitioners, we're just sort of trying to make them fit our needs. Again, doesn't solve our problem. The other thing with using multiple applications or using, just your desktop is PIPEDA compliance. So PIPEDA compliance is Canada's Personal Information Protection and Electronic Documents Act, pardon me. So basically what that means is that Canada has strict regulations about how we store and protect personal information. This is really important because when we have clients, they're coming to us and they're really trusting that we're protecting the sensitive information that they're sharing with us. And, you know, I think that if we were to be giving our information out, we would want it to be safe. We would want it to be, you know, inaccessible to random people. So that's really important. The other thing is that a lot of these solutions that are out there are expensive. They're really expensive and far too expensive for me especially when I was starting out to be able to afford. So if we're breaking down, I mean, this is just a rough estimate as to how much you could be spending on multiple applications just to run your business. So if you're looking at something like a scheduling app, you know, it could be $10 to $20 a month. You're looking at like an invoicing app, it could be, again, $10 to $20 a month. Some of these are way more depending on the capacity in which you need them. So how many clients you have, how many invoices you plan on sending a month. The other thing is fillable forms and waiver applications. There are some applications out there that allow you to create forms, but don't allow your clients to sign them. So that's another thing. So that could be costing you $10 to $15. And then the other thing you could be paying for an e-health record management app, which would be kind of like an electronic clinic or, you know, this a little bit along the lines of what we're currently doing. And those really range, I mean, we're saying $60 to $200+ pardon me, but they're pretty expensive. And these are usually based out of the US. So they're, you know, $60 US to $200+ US a month. So it's pretty expensive. So, you know, we're looking at an estimate if you're using all these, you know, $95. Like that's a lot of money, especially when you're starting out. You may have a couple clients, you may not yet have any clients. You know, what do we have to do? Do we have to wait to be, you know, more organized and more professional once we're actually at our goal of how many clients we want to have and how we want our practice to look? I mean, that doesn't make any sense. We want to start these habits, you know, right from the beginning. So this is where we come in. We decided, you know what, there's got to be a better way. And if there's not, which there wasn't, we're going to make it because I personally needed it. And my colleagues needed it. So these are some of our key features. So we allow you to book online. So you can book for your clients can book for themselves. You can process your payments and invoice your clients automatically. Imagine taking, as soon as a payment goes through, your client sent an invoice just like that. You don't have to go back to your Word document, your template, enter this information, and then send it via email. You can create and share recommendations. So those protocols, you can share food recommendations, supplement recommendations, and lifestyle recommendations with your clients in a secure way without leaving the platform. Your files are all organized. They're all in one place. You know, you think about, you have a client who comes in and they're telling you how they're feeling, their progress since they last saw you. You're not digging through a physical file anymore. It's all there in chronological order. The really cool thing is that we can also track clients' progress, which is really important because, you know, my personal experience and from what we are hearing, well, what we heard in our beta testing, so before our official launch, was that clients, the clients were really aware that their practitioner was watching what they were doing. So they were staying on track more. So that's really key because obviously, if your client stays on track, they're going to get the results. They're going to be happy and they're going to come back and they're going to tell their friends. So that's really important. And then the other thing, of course, is the freedom to work from anywhere. You can go on holiday and take your computer with you or your phone with you or your tablet. and your whole clinic, your whole practice is all available right there. All right. So what does this cost you? Oh, sorry, not yet. Okay. We mentioned quickly Pepita. This basically is, here, I'm going to fast forward that. So Pepita compliance was that your information, which can include things like name, age, medical records, like I mentioned earlier, credit records, they have to be safeguarded by a password.
Yeah, and other technical measures. So we do have a lot of safeguards on our servers in our platform, including data encryption. We have a lot of safeguards on our servers and our physical locations. So you can rest assured that all of your data and your client's data is safe and secured. We back up every night, so nothing gets lost as well. And just so you know, all of our employees are trained in terms of handling private information. So nothing is going to leak out of our data centers or our offices. And finally, we don't use your client data to market or target to your clients. So all of this data is really just for you and your eyes alone. So you can rest assured that what we take from you is safe in our platform.
All right. So here, I think this next slide is. So here we're saying, the idea for a tool like this to be accessible to everyone. And yes, it is here. So this is how we plan to make it accessible to everyone. So I'm going to let Graham talk about our plans.
Yeah, so all the great features that Natalie described just now are entirely free. So you can get started right away. Just visit our website and sign up for a free plan, and you get all of those great features, including invoicing, client records, being able to book appointments for your clients and let them book appointments for themselves, protocol management, progress tracking. All of those are free, so you can get started right away up until you reach that 3 client limit. And then what you'd want to do once you realize that you're growing your practice at a nice clip, you can then upgrade to our Pro plan. That's $20 a month, and you get up to 25 clients. In addition, you get to brand and use your company colors on your forms and your waivers, as well as your invoices and your protocols. So it really just helps to give you that professional touch when you're communicating with your clients. And then finally, we have our Plus plan, which is really a fully customized experience. So when clients come to your website, they'll see your brand colors and your logo everywhere. All of the emails that are sent from our platform are fully customized, so they'll feel like it's just a natural extension of your own website. So you get that seamless experience for your clients. So that's a quick breakdown of our pricing structure, and if anyone has any questions about that, we're certainly able to answer those for you.
And I just want to just say one last thing about the Sprout program. Graham says it's free. It's free. We're not even asking for a credit card number. I mean, this is where we're talking about making it accessible to everyone. First of all, our prices, you're not going to beat them. And as we saw with the breakdown of using multiple applications, you're going to be spending more a month for an application that does 1 or 2 functions, as opposed to an all-in-one program. And we really wanted to give you this Sprout program for free, where you could build your practice. You could test out the platform with your friends, with yourself, with 1 client, with 2 clients. You could build your practice from when you're in school to right when you finish school, until you're actually profitable and you can afford to pay $20 a month or $45 a month. And if you stay tuned, at the end of the webinar, we will be giving you an additional discount on our paid plans. So there you go, even more affordable. All right, so this is where we're gonna run you through our demo. Please someone let me know if I am talking too fast. I do tend to do that sometimes, so just send a little message and be like, Natalie, slow down. All right, so I'm gonna give you a little demo of our baby. Okay. So basically you log into your platform, and this is the practitioner homepage. So what you see on the practitioner homepage, you'll see your calendar, well, you'll see a menu. Let's start over. At the top, you're going to see any entries that any clients will have submitted. So you're going to see just a quick overview of what's happening with your clients, if there's anything that you need to review. The right-hand side, you're going to see any upcoming sessions. So, you know, hey, do I have a session tomorrow at 8:30? It'll be there. You'll see any tasks that you need to complete or that a client needs to complete. You'll be able to really quickly book a session with a client. Again, really easily create a new task. And then you'll see our blogs at the bottom of the page, which are really intended to help you grow your practice. So that's why we wanted to make them prominent for you. So when you come to setting up your practice, the first time you log in, you're going to see something like this. You're going to see a setup wizard, what's going to walk you through setting up your practice, okay? I'm not going to go through all this right now. It's right there for you when you come in, but I just want to show you. So if I head to my profile, this is where you're setting up your profile. This information is going to be accessible to your client, okay? So you're going to put your name, your last name. These things will actually will already be there from when you sign up. You can edit your professional title. You can select your time zone, the currency you want to work with, or that you work with, and if you need to alter it later, that's perfectly fine. You can write a little biography, again, for your clients to see about you. You can edit your accreditations and even add more. So if you have more accreditations, you know, you're a nutritionist and a health coach, or you're a nutritionist and, you know, a chiropractor, or, you know, iridologist, you can add all those here. And you can also add your social networks. Okay? So make sure that when you're doing this, if you're always, the save button's at the top right-hand corner, so you're gonna be saving as you go along. So when you're setting up your practice, again, you need to set up your services. So if you go to my services, right now I already have some services set in here. These are the services that either clients can book for themselves or that you can book for clients, okay? So it's really easy. If I want to set up a new service, I'm going to head to the the bottom right-hand corner. This red button in the bottom right-hand corner is called our Fast Action button. So I'm going to click on it and add a service. So I'll say initial consultation. And I'm going to say, you know, this is where we discuss health history, etc. Okay, you can talk about, you can let the client know what the purpose of the service is. You can also say, you know, put an asterisk and say this, you know, this needs to be the first session we have together, or, you know, this is required before we see each other for a follow-up session or whatnot. You determine how long it's going to be, 60 minutes. And then you can say, you know, I'm charging $150. Great. Once you're done, if you're planning on having a clinic day and you're planning on seeing multiple clients in a day, you can add a buffer time. So you can say, you know what, after every session, I need 15 minutes to kind of gather my thoughts, or, you know, in case someone's late, or, you know, the session runs overtime. So you can add a buffer time here. And then you can also decide how you want to offer this service. So is the service available in person, online, via video chat like Skype, or by phone? So this one will be available all 3 ways. And then you're going to save, okay? So now we're going to see at the bottom of here, at the bottom of our list, is that initial consultation, okay? If I wanted to book a client from here, I can just say book client, choose the client I want to book, and then select my day, select my time, say, oops, whoa, what did I do? Pardon me. I'm going to say it's going to be via video chat, and I can leave a note for my client. Right. Now we're going to my availability. So now we're going to my availability. Here's where you're setting up when you're available for clients to book these sessions. So all you have to do is you hover your cursor over a time where you'd like to start, and you drag your cursor. Okay, and when you release, that block of time will be selected. If you made a mistake, you can just change this to say, oh, that was actually 10:30. Okay, you can decide if this is a block of time that recurs weekly as far as your availability goes. So yes, if I click this, it means every week this block will be available for clients to book a session. I can also further say, you know what, I don't want clients to be able to book everything on that day. You know, on Wednesdays, I only want to do grocery store tours, which means that's the only service they're able to request on that day. Or you can select all of your services, okay? Perfect. So then after that, we want to add a client. We want to say, hey, come on over and book a service with me. So we're going to go to My Clients, we add a service. Okay. We're going to add a service, and we're going to, Mary Smith. We're going to put Mary Smith's email address in here. And we're going to either give Mary, we're either going to create a protocol, sorry, we're either going to create a profile, which means a profile only, which means I'm just storing Mary's information. I'm just creating a file for her, but I don't want to give her access. Or you can create a profile and give her access to the platform. So I'm going to give her access, okay, which is already selected. Now the forms that I will have already created, I can just check mark. Say, I want to send all these to her. And just like that, they're going to be sent over to Mary Smith's email address. I can also give her access to a food and mood journal where I will be able to track her progress, as well as lifestyle journals where I'll be able to track her progress. Okay. So I just mentioned forms and waivers. So these forms and waivers I will have created under my practice and clicking on forms and waivers. So if I go to forms and waivers, we've already got an initial consultation intake form for you that's pre-generated. So if I click on the right-hand corner at the bottom and I click Create from Template, it says Intake Questionnaire. Here you'll see a basic intake questionnaire that you can fully edit for your own needs. So you know, you can say, oh, this question is not relevant. You can remove it. You can drag and drop the questions to another location, or you can add a new location, a new question. Perfect. So when creating a new question, on the right-hand side, we've got this question builder. So if you hover your cursor over any of the icons, it'll tell you what kind of question it'll create. So we've got a short text, we've got a long text, a yes or no question. So if I click on the yes or no question, for example, I can say, do you feel rested when you wake? I can leave the labels as yes or no, and I can say the question is required if I absolutely want the client to complete that question, and I can say done. And then again, you can drag and drop that question to where it belongs. Okay, so you also have the option of creating checkbox questions, yes, multiple choice questions, long answer questions. Okay, so this is fully customizable. If you didn't want to work with the intake questionnaire that's provided as a template, you can create your own. So you would go again back to that fast action button in the right-hand corner, click on the button, and go to the top option. So it says Create Form, and here you're going to have a blank slate. So again, you would start building your questionnaire. You can say detox questionnaire, let's say. And then you'd start building your questionnaire however you'd like. Okay, so you can add a short text question and so on and so forth. The other really cool thing we can do is we can also create waivers. Okay, so if you click on the bottom right-hand corner again, And the second option is to create a waiver. So the waivers basically are a form that require a signature, okay? So here you can either copy and paste the current waiver that you're using, or you can type it yourself, and you can, you know, make bullet points and bold text. So basically I can just say, you know, I understand that, you know, whoever you are is not responsible. XYZ. Okay, so I'm required, automatically the client signature is required. And also here I'm checking that I want them to also print their name. Okay, so I'll save that. So if we go to that same waiver that we just created, we can select preview. And here I would say N Garcia. So I'm typing in my name as the form requires, and I'm using my cursor in that box to make my signature. So your client is going to complete the form just like this. Okay? And then they would click done. Okay, so here's like, here's a consent and liability waiver, for example, if you want to see what one may look like. Okay, saying I'm not a doctor, you know, they take their health into their own hands, etc. Okay, so you can, there's also one, permission to email. So these documents, these forms and waivers that you're creating, when you add a new client, that list will be available there for you to just check mark all of them off and send them right to the client along with their invitation to the platform. You can also send them one-offs right here by clicking send to and then clicking on the client you want to send them to. Okay, so Diane Sear. Now it's giving me a notification that Diane Sear will be notified that there's a form for her to complete. All right. All right. So now that we've added a client to our platform, we're going to go. Oh, sorry.
Can we use existing forms?
Existing forms that you created before the platform? Pardon me? Go ahead.
Yeah, so now we have using existing documents. So the forms and waivers section is actually for those forms generated through the platform. But if you want to use your existing forms, you can always go to My Practice. So I clicked on the My Practice button, and I'm going to go down to Documents here. Under Documents, what I can do is upload a new PDF or upload a file from my file system. So I'll upload a file here and hit Upload in the top right-hand corner. So once my file is uploaded, what I can do is go to the folder where I stored that form. I can click on that form, and I can hit Edit and Share. So I hit the Edit and Share button, then I can select a client that I want to share that document with. So then my client will get an email saying, hey, this document is available for you in the platform, ready to
Does that answer the question?
Yeah, so the other follow-up question was what other kind of format of files can you upload? You can upload any kind of file to our system. It's up to you, to your discretion, whatever file you want to share with your client, whether it be PDFs or Excel files, images, videos, you name it. You can share them with your clients through the platform.
The only thing is that if you're using your own form, the client won't be able to fill it out in the platform like they will if you've regenerated it. What they would have to do is they would download the file, much like they would do if you emailed them the form. They'd complete it, and then they would send it back. Okay. All right, so now we've added a client. So we added Mary Smith to our clients. Okay, so at the top left-hand corner, pardon me, we see My Clients. I got a drop down of Recent Clients. I'm going to click on Mary Smith. So everything you see on this page pertains to Mary Smith. So this is where I was talking to you about, you know, having everything organized in one place. We have an overview of what's going on with Mary. Here I've got, you know, that she posted 8 new journal entries. I see that there's a pending reminder for her that I reminded her that she needed to clean out her kitchen. I can click on bookings right below recent activity, and I see her past and upcoming bookings. I can even click on her invoices right below that, and see what's paid, what's partially paid, what's unpaid. What's really cool about the client file is that you get, as I was saying, you get an overview of what's going on. So here we've broken things down into categories so you can get a really quick glimpse at the really important information, you know, medical information, contact information. So basic information is the first one under client file. And here you're going to see your client's contact information, okay? Below that, you'll see their medical history. So you can, you know, you can leave yourself a note of things that, you know, really important to remember. Their medications, you know, if you're looking at their medications and what nutrients maybe those medications may deplete, you can leave those notes here so you're not, you know, redoing that work time and time again. There's supplements they're taking, as well as additional notes here, and this is a pretty lengthy field here. So you can, you know, go to town with writing, you know, very detailed and extensive notes. Then you also have a section for diet and lifestyle. So you can, here we're talking about their stressors, their dietary restrictions, their sleep patterns, that sort of thing. We also have a section for their measurements and their vitals. So you can keep track of their progress. If you're keeping track of the physical measurements, this you can keep track of here, as well as vital signs and their histories at the bottom. You can create goals and targets for your clients. So you can create weight goals. You can create water goals. So how much water you'd like them to consume on a daily basis, as well as any nutritional goal. So you can write down to the micronutrients. You can say, you know, I want you to have so many grams, or macronutrients. I want you to have so many grams of fat a day, or protein a day, or I want you to have no more than this amount a day, okay? So you would do your goals and targets there. Sessions, as I was saying earlier, so if you have, you know, when a client comes in and they're checking in with you and they're saying, this is how I'm feeling, you know, I'm feeling better about this, I'm feeling better about that, or I'm feeling sluggish, this is where you keep your notes, okay? And it's all organized in chronological order. So if you come, you know, you think back, you know, what's going on 6 months ago? You're not digging through files. All you have to do is scroll down and you see what's going on. You get a picture of what happened that day, as well as any files that your client brought to you. Let's say they brought blood work tests to you. You can upload those documents right into your session note. So it's all together. So when I look back at on January 4th, I see, you know, Mary's main concerns was that she was lacking energy, she was having trouble sleeping, and she was gaining weight. Oh, and I can also see, you know, that I delivered her increased energy protocol, okay, because that's been linked here. So if I wanted to add a new session, I would just click on the bottom left, right-hand corner, pardon me, the fast action button. It says add session, and I've got, you know, I can say follow up. I'll say follow up number 4 since it's there. And now I have the freedom to write whatever I want. So however you structure your session, you can structure your notes as well. Okay. So then we're talking about protocols. I mentioned on January 4th, you know, doing an increased energy protocol with Mary. So if I wanted to go to her protocols, I could see everything that, every protocol that I've created for her, protocols that I've just worked on, or protocols that I've also shared with her. So if I've shared a protocol with her, it'll say here that it's published, okay? So basically a protocol, as I was saying earlier, is structured, I'm gonna click bottom right-hand corner, it says create protocol, is structured with food recommendations, supplement recommendations, and lifestyle recommendations, okay? So you're gonna name your protocol. The skin. Can I have that before, please? You're gonna give a focus to your protocol. So you'll say, you know, using whole foods to clear skin. And here you can have notes. So here is where you would include any notes that you, or any points that you talked about during your session that you want to, your client to focus on until they see you again, okay? So for example, I'm gonna say our start date is May 1st. I want her to work on this for 3 weeks, and I can add a disclaimer if I would like. And then we're gonna go say food recommendations. So I'm gonna say exclude processed foods. So here you can say, sorry. All right. So here you can decide to include foods, reduce foods, or exclude foods. Okay, so here my recommendation is to exclude processed foods. So I can say white flour. I hope I'm not being graded on my typing skills here. You can say white flour, you can say cakes, you can say refined sugars, okay? You can say whatever you want. You give your client examples of the foods you don't want them to have, or you say, you know, the foods you do want them to have. And then you can give them an explanation as to why. You know, you can say these foods can compromise I'm just making, so it's, you know, here I'm saying, you know, you want to avoid these foods because they may compromise your immune system. And when we're talking about skin health, that's quite important. So we're going to say done. Now this food recommendation will show up on our protocol. So you can keep adding your food recommendations until all your recommendations have been made. Next, you can add a supplement recommendation. So click on add supplement recommendation. And here you're going to see a list of all the frequently searched companies. All right. So basically I can say Esenta, click on that, and I'm going to get a list of all of Esenta's products. Okay. So I'll click on Nutricy, for example, and I can say 2 teaspoons, or I can give a range. I can say 1 teaspoon to 2 teaspoons, or that's not sense, to 3 teaspoons. Or if it's a very complicated dose, you know, the instructions are complicated, I can click freeform and give a more detailed description of how you want your client to take a supplement. Now the thing when you're creating a protocol, I don't know if you've encountered this, but I do. I think, oh my goodness, what is in that supplement? You know, you don't always remember the dose, you don't always remember the combination of nutrients or vitamins. So if you click, so you'll see at the top, you'll see Nutricy, you'll see the company, and then right below it, you'll see view supplement facts and recommended dosages. So if you click on that, you'll get a pop-up that will tell you what the company says about the product. You don't have to go digging through the internet anymore. It's right there for you. So now the company tells you what it's used for, what their recommended dose would be. It'll tell you what's in the product. And if there are contraindications, they'll be listed at the bottom under cautions and warnings, or sometimes contraindications. Okay, so it just saves you a lot of time. Okay, so now I'm saying 2 teaspoons, and I want them to have it with breakfast. Okay, and at the bottom I can add, you know, health conditions. So I can say, you know, immune system. I can just say it's good for their immune system, or I can say skin health and whatnot. Okay. Perfect. And then lastly, you can add a lifestyle recommendation. So lifestyle recommendations, we already have a bank of lifestyle recommendations for you. So if you click here, you'll see that lifestyle recommendations are grouped together under detoxification, digestion, exercise, mindfulness, sleep, and stress. Okay, so if we're talking about skin health, well, maybe we want to reduce stress. So if I click on stress, I will see all the recommendations that are grouped under stress. These are provided for you. You can absolutely create your own lifestyle recommendations, or you can edit what's here. Okay, so if we look at, practice deep breathing, there's a little explanation here. If you don't like the explanation, you change it and you write how you want to explain it to your client. Okay, I'm going to put that there. And here's our protocol. Every single time it's going to look the same. Every single time it's going to be formatted perfectly. You don't have to worry about that anymore. And that's really going to save a lot of time. Sometimes we see clients for the same reason over and over again. If you have a niche, like a specialty, if skin health happens to be your thing, you can create a protocol and then reuse it, only modifying it for each client, for each new client, pardon me. So what I could do is I can go to save at the top of my protocol. I can click on save, and I can click save as a template, which means that this document will be saved in my protocol template where I can just modify it for any new client. Okay. Right now I'm going to save it as a draft, which means I'm not ready to share it with Mary. Okay. So here it is. I can preview it. And this is what the protocol looks like when it's being previewed. This is what it will look like when it's shared with Mary. Okay, so she'll see her food recommendations, her lifestyle recommendations, and her supplements we will shoot it out in a chart form for her. So it's very clear as to how and when to take things. And again, you can see under the supplement the reasons for which you recommended those supplements, okay? If you provided a reason. When you are happy with your protocol and you'd like to share it with Mary, you can say edit. You can go to save again, and you're gonna say save and publish, okay? Now you're gonna get this pop-up that tells you, okay, once you save this, you can't modify it, okay? It's gonna be a read-only copy, and it's gonna be sent to Mary. And that's fine, I'm gonna share it now. All right. And so now Mary instantaneously is getting a copy of her protocol in her portal, as well as an email telling her that you've sent her a protocol, okay? Do you have questions? Are we doing okay?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So last thing in client files.
About printing protocols. So.
Yes. So if you want to print a protocol, a good question. So under each protocol, you'll see preview. So where we saw the preview, or if you want to print it, just click download. It's going to be the same thing for your clients. If they want to print their protocol, they're just going to click download. So right now I'm going to click it. And it's pretty empty right now, but I should take. Yeah, so download and it'll be, and then you can print from there. All right, so the other thing the other really good advantage of having your clients use the forms that you've generated within the platform is once the client has completed the form, so we see that Mary Smith has completed her food and mood journal entry. Sorry. There we go. Once the client has completed a form, we see that she's completed her consent and liability waiver. She's also completed her intake questionnaire and her permission to email waiver. So as you may be currently doing right now, where you're taking notes on an intake questionnaire, you can still do that within the platform, right? If the intake questionnaire was was regenerated in the platform. So you can click view and add notes. So anywhere there is a question, there is a field for you to take notes. So let's say Mary did not complete a question, or she forgot to mention something. You just write a note, and none of this is going to be shared with Mary. This is for your eyes only. Okay. So you can say, mother also had IBS, whatnot. You save notes. So now, just like you would take a note on a physical form, you're taking a note here virtually, and those are always accessible to you. You can also download the questionnaire, and you can download it as a PDF to print it, or you can also download it as a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Right.
So the spreadsheet option lets you view those questions and the answers side by side. So if you want to use that content and put that data into some other program for your reference, and you're free to do that. So all of this you can export from our platform.
Cool. All right. How are we doing?
Good.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. So as Graham mentioned, in our paid programs, you can play with the branding to represent your company. So I'm going to let Graham talk to you about logos and branding here.
Okay. Yeah. So we do have logo and branding options available in our Pro and Plus plans, and these are really to give your forms, and if you do choose to go to the Plus plan, the website a really tailor-made look to your business. So it really gives you that professional look when you're taking clients from your website to the Better platform. So you'll see here that you have a couple options in terms of customizing the look and feel of certain items within Better. You see right at the top, under primary color, under company colors, you'll see a field where you can enter your primary brand color. So for our purposes here, it's red. So maybe I want to change that to my favorite color, that's green. I guess green is already better, so we'll choose brown maybe. And we can choose an accent color, which will show up in certain places where you want to do a bit of a distinction between that primary and secondary items in the user interface. Under there, you'll be able to specify a logo for the website. So if you have that Plus plan, you can always you can add a logo to the website. So we'll show that to you in a brief second, but basically this is a simple form where you can upload your company logo here. Right under that, we have PDF layout options. So we give you a couple options as to how you want to structure and display your PDFs to your clients. You can go with the eco-friendly option, which is pretty much black and white. It's great for printing. Or you can do the vibrant option, which really lets your company colors pop and get a really vibrant look to your forms and your waivers and your invoices and your protocols and other forms generated in the platform. You also have the option of displaying your company info in the footer and a tagline if you do have one. So let's say Natalie had a tagline, hey, improving your health one step at a time, then that would show up in your company tagline. And you'll be able to preview that form if you want. So if you made some changes to it, you can hit save and preview PDF, and that will let you see what your new PDF is going to look like here. So you can see I have that brown color. I have my existing logo there and some text just to illustrate how that's going to appear when the user downloads your PDF. Just one more thing at the bottom, you do have some other options when generating those PDFs. So you can choose a logo that's distinct for your form. So let's say you wanted a different logo on your website than the one on your forms, and you have the option here of choosing a separate logo. You also have the option of how you want to position that logo on your form. So if you want to put your logo at the top left, on the right-hand side, or centered, we give you options for doing all of that in the platform here. I don't know if you want to. Yeah. So this is kind of what you have available to you in Better in terms of a logo and branding perspective. So if you were to sign up for that Plus plan, where you get a customized, better experience for yourself and for your clients, you actually get a customized URL for yourself. So if I go to that left navigation menu, under logo and branding, I can select personalized URL. So I'll click on that. And you see that my URL is currently mypractice.practicebetter.io. So if you have your own company, let's say it's Energized Health, for instance, you can type that in. As long as it's not taken by someone else, then you can use that URL as your own. So if you have a website, you can then, if users want to sign, if your existing clients or new clients want to book a session with you, you can direct them to mypractice.practicebetter.io. So I'll just hit the try it now button so you can get a sense as to what that's going to look like when your clients log in. So you'll see here that I have my logo in the top left-hand corner. You'll see if I go to other elements of my UI, I have my brown color showing up here. It looks awesome. I feel like looks just like my website. So it's great that you get that seamless experience between your personal website and the Better platform. So your clients really feel like, hey, this practitioner knows what she's doing. She's on top of her stuff. So these are some of the options that you have from a logo and branding perspective in the Better platform.
And then I just wanted to lastly show you what your client sees. So here, so now we've updated it and it's brown. So this is what your client's going to see when they log in to your to their portal. So they're going to log in and they're going to see an overview of the information that's available to them. So they're going to see, if they click here, this is their most recent protocol. So they click on it, they're going to see the protocol that you've most recently created for them, and they can download it. Okay, so this is where they'll download and print it. They're also going to be able to request a session. They're going to see one of their lifestyle recommendations cycling through their lifestyle focus. They'll see any upcoming sessions, as well as they'll be able to request a session, just like they were in the center of the page. We want to make it very easy for them to request a session. So if they want to request a session, what they'll do is they'll click on request a session. They'll see your services that we set up at the beginning of our demo. They're going to say, oh, grocery store tour, select. They're going to see the days that are available. So that will be circled in a dotted line. So like, I'll go to the next one. Here we go, more obvious. So in April, so April 3rd, for example. And then under it says, it'll say pick a time. I'll click on that slot and I'll see all the availability that the practitioner has set for that day. So I can pick 10:30 to 12. And I can even, leave a note saying, hey, I really think we should look at reading labels or, whatever. And they send a request. This is always a request. You have to confirm or decline a session request, okay? So you have the last say. So as you see, the booking is pending. Okay, so it's really easy for them to book. Back to their home page, they can add a food and mood journal. They can also add lifestyle entries. So in their food and mood journal, I'm just gonna click here quickly. They kind of like a MyFitnessPal, they can add what they ate. They can tell you how they felt before they ate, how they felt after they ate, and where they ate. Okay, so these are really great talking points for you. So when your client comes in, you can take a look at, they say, well, I'm not, meeting my goals. And you can say, okay, well, what have you been eating? And now you're going to go through their journal entries and say, well, maybe it's because you skipped breakfast 4 days in a row. Or maybe, X, Y, Z. So it's really great. It keeps them accountable. They know you're looking. Every time they create an entry, you're going to get a notification, okay? Down here in the bottom right-hand corner, you see the water intake, and it says, Wendy would like you to drink at least 8 glasses of water. So I can say, you know, so far I've had 4, for example. Okay. And then lastly, at the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see tasks and reminders. Okay. So again, like I had said earlier, I'm being prompted to clean out my kitchen. If I had forms to complete, they would be right here. There would be a big notification saying that there are forms for you to complete. Okay, so they can go through on the left-hand side under My Resources, there's a menu, and they can see all their sessions and all their bookings. They can see their invoices. They can download them or pay them if they're unpaid. They can review their protocols. They can they can add journal entries. They can see the documents you've shared with them. Okay. And they can review their forms. Okay, these ones are all completed, but again, they can view a form even once it's been completed. Okay, so this is their form. And I think that's it for our demo. So if we head back to our slideshow here, I'm gonna just kind of fly through these. This is just, again, giving you an overview of what the clients see. The fact that everything's organized in one place. This shows you the client file. This shows you the client sessions that are organized, documents that are linked to the sessions. Here we see an example of what of a food and mood journal might look like. So at the top we see for breakfast, it was itemized. Everything was selected, and we see the breakdown of that meal, the calories, the carbs, the proteins, and the fats. They also have the option of just writing in freehand what they ate as opposed to selecting ingredient by ingredient. So that's what lunch and dinner look like. Okay. This again, if we kept our colors in red, is what the client sees when they move into when they go into their portal, pardon me. So again, at the top, we're highlighting the most recent protocol. They're able to request sessions, add their journal entries, as well as an overview of the protocol, just for quick reference. Okay. And again, if they were looking at it on a phone, this is what they would be seeing. Okay. So this all really to facilitate your work experience, to allow you to work from wherever you want to be, allow you to work for multiple clinics without any work disruption or any complications. You can go on vacation. You know, so long as you have your phone, we have our phones with us everywhere. So long as you have your phone, you have your practice, you have your clinic, and you can go work at your favorite coffee shop. So, you know, all this just to say, you know, you don't ever have to worry about, did I leave something behind? Do I have everything with me? It's all there.
We have time to do invoicing really quickly, or?
Yeah. You want to go?
Yeah. So we had a question about invoicing and payments. So I'll just take a second to go through some of the invoicing features really quickly. Do we have Stripe, Square? Okay. So I guess the first step would be to set up your Square or your Stripe account. So basically, when you accept a payment, like a credit card through our platform, your money will be funneled directly into one of either your Stripe or Square account. We don't take any money off of that, so it's, you know, you get your full 100% or 100% minus whatever Stripe or Square takes from you. But yeah, that's the first step in terms of setting up your invoicing and payments. The next step would be to go to invoicing and payments and creating a new invoice. So I can go to create invoice in the bottom right-hand corner, that big red fast action button. And the next step is I want to select which client I want to create that invoice for. So today I'll just create an invoice for Mary Smith. as you can see that I've already have my company header pre-populated. You can set this up in your settings. You can see it's already set up for my bill too, so I can specify Mary's name and her address as well. I have a pre-generated invoice number and an invoice date. Yeah, right below I can set up a summary. So what is this invoice for? Why am I booking or billing my customer? So you see right under there, I can also add a line item. So if I wanted to add a line item for a product or a service that I just offered my client, I can do that here. I can also, if I have an existing session, which is a really cool feature, so I can go down to that fast action button in the bottom right, and I can say I can add a line item from an existing booking. So let's say I just want to create an invoice for a booking that I just had with a client. It'll bring up a list of the most recent sessions that I had with that client. So you can see March 31st, that's my upcoming session tomorrow, I think. I can say, okay, let me create an invoice for that. So I'll select initial consultation here. It gets pre-populated into that line item. I can customize the amount if I want. I can also add an optional discount. So let's say Mary's been to my office 20 times this month. I want to give her a discount because I kind of feel bad for her. She's going through a lot of stuff. So I'm going to give her a 20% discount here, and I'll say done. I can then add HST, remove it if I need to. So if you're working in a different province, we're in Ontario right now, but if you're in Calgary or Montreal, Quebec, then you can specify your tax value to suit. You can add an optional footer here. And then once you add your Stripe or Square account, I haven't done it as yet, but you'll be able to accept payments either in full. So when your client comes to pay for that invoice, they'll have to pay the full, in this case, $135. Or you can choose to accept partial payments. So you can choose to accept 20% now and the other 80% later on. So if you know you want your client to pay in advance, just in case they may choose to cancel that session sometime down the road, then you can take that partial payment up front. And as I said, you can do a full payment option as well. Once you've done setting up your invoice, the next step would be to save it first. You can either save, so this won't be sent to your client. The next option is you can send it to your client, so they'll get an invoice in their email, and they'll also get a link to pay for that invoice. So if you set up your Stripe or Square account, they'll be taken to a page where they can then enter their credit card information and put their details in there, complete the invoice payment, and then they'll receive a receipt for the invoice automatically. So there's no more going back to Word and typing up some receipts and then email it to your client. This is all done for you in the platform. And it's really great because you could get that from another tool, but it's really great that you can link your sessions, your clients. All of that stuff is linked within the platform, right? You can export this data as well. So it's a very seamless experience, and that's what we're trying to provide to you here. So one last thing I'll touch on for invoices. Let's say you're in a session or just finishing up a session with a client. You also have the option of processing that payment right away. So let's say you want to accept payments from your client as a check or a cash or even a credit card. You can just do that while you're sitting right beside them. So if I hit the process button in the top right-hand corner, it's going to take me to a page. Oh, well, I don't have my Stripe or Square account hooked up yet. But basically, it'll take me to a page where I can then accept that credit card. My client can type in that credit card, or I can have the option of saying accept cash. And then I can hit submit, and then it will create and send that invoice to both me and to my client. So as I said before, a very seamless experience and something that we hope that you guys will find value in our platform.
How are we doing? Do we have any other questions? While Graham's checking to see if we have questions, I just want to share with you that we will be offering everyone who's assisted our presentation today a 25% discount off of your first 12 months with Better. So yeah, so our already affordable prices are that much more affordable for you so that you can start, you know, using your time more wisely and growing your practice. I mean, that's what we want. That's why we created this platform. So so yeah, Graham, I think, is checking to see if we have any other questions. How are we doing?
That was amazing demonstration, Natalie. I mean, I already knew a lot of what was already there, and even I'm kind of blown away how much even more extensive it is. How long have you been working on this?
Well, conception has been about 3 years, but it's been a couple years. We spent a whole year in beta, testing the product out with practitioners and a couple, you know, and some choice clients. But we've only launched now in January. So yeah, but we're constantly looking for ways to improve our platform. So, you know, we always welcome any feedback, any suggestions. You know, you're not bugging us. We want to hear what you think. So yeah, it's been a long road, but we're quite excited about, you know, being able to share this.
Yeah, just one more point to add to what Natalie said. We have a lot of practitioners who've signed up for our platform already, and we have practitioners from all over the globe. So we know that the nutritionists are practicing in different ways, they're using different tools, they're using different methods to store and record data. And we're always willing to take that feedback and incorporate it into the system, because we really want to make it accessible to everyone. Every nutritionist should have a reason to use the Better platform.
Well, and I think that what is really, really nice is how dedicated it is to the holistic nutrition profession. Mm-hmm. Like, you really have thought of just about everything that we might want to do. And let's face it, we have a lot of variety of what we can work into a practice and how we can help a client. And therefore, right, you've managed to allow that to exist. Now, have you had any issues with people who may not be tech savvy as clients?
You know, honestly, I personally have clients that don't use the platform. The most of them do. Even those who say I'm not very tech savvy, once they log into the client side, they will have a tutorial video that's going to walk them through how it works. Also, we are more than happy to do, you know, like an extensive or, you know, more in-depth run through with either you or with you, so you can walk them through something, or with them directly. But yeah, I personally have a couple clients that don't use it for all of its, don't use all of its features, which I find quite fine, because the platform on its own, just for my own benefit, it saves me a ton of time. So even if they just use it to book their session and to, you know, look at their protocol, it's fine. If they don't, some of them do, pardon me, some of them do also choose to use, how do I say, the Food and Mood Journal and not like the lifestyle journals. The feedback's been that it's pretty user-friendly, especially with the Food and Mood Journal, the ability to have a free form entry. I think a lot of clients don't necessarily want to go through every single ingredient when they're telling you what they ate. And I find also a lot of the practitioners saying, you know, I don't really care about the calories. I don't need to see the breakdown. I just want to see what they're eating overall. So in that sense, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so in that sense, I find that the Food and Mood Journal is even easier to use, and the clients find it's easier to use when you say, hey, you can also just do a free form journal.
Yeah, and I would just add that, you know, a lot of the resources in the platform for the clients, I mean, they can print everything out as a PDF. So even if you don't want to log into the system, you can always download your resources. Your practitioner can download the resources for you, and you can have access to those offline. Obviously, it's not the way we intended it, but we do recognize that a lot of users may just want to have that stuff printed out if they want to choose that option. Well, we made the system pretty user-friendly, so we'd like to think that people won't have that many issues navigating and using it. So yeah.
That's good. I think there's another question here from Danielle. We have 3 Danielles, or had 3 Danielles. Is there any possibility for automatic payment if a client subscribed for a monthly plan to have the credit card charged every month for the time of the plan? So in other words, automatic charging of the credit card.
Yeah, that's actually a really good question, and that's likely going to be part of one of our upcoming updates. So we have a big invoicing update coming up, which will allow clients to not only pay recurring amounts, but also when they're signing up for a session, they will also be prompted to pay for that session, whether it be a partial or full payment, and also pay for products and services that you're offering. So let's say you as a practitioner offer your own custom supplements, or you offer supplements that you're a reseller for, then you'll also have the option of promoting those within Better. So definitely a lot of cool, interesting features coming up very soon.
And I'm not sure if you saw this comment from another Danielle saying, thank you very much for the presentation. I need to log off now, but I'll be contacting you in the near future. Best wishes. So
thank you,
That's
Danielle.
awesome.
Thank you both, Danielles.
Yeah.
all
I
the
hope, Daniel,
Danielles.
I hope you took your promo code with you, because you're going to need it.
I will send this out. So I'm going to send out the recording to everyone who signed up tonight, many of whom are not here because that's just the way it works.
Yeah.
So we'll be sending that out to them, and so they'll be able to see the promo code from the presentation. I'll also make note that there is one so that they listen for it.
Yeah.
And follow through to the end. Bradle's saying, looks like an amazing platform. Kudos. Thank you so much. And Melanie is asking, do you have a system set up for cancellations for whatever hours in advance?
Great question. Yeah, we do actually. So in your platform, you'll have an option to set that up in your settings. So actually, I'll go to My Schedule. All of your booking and scheduling stuff is going to be under My Schedule. So under that tab, you'll see an option here called Booking and Cancellation Settings. You'll also be able to set options as to how frequently you want to send those reminders for upcoming sessions. You'll have the option to have your clients confirm sessions before. And finally, to answer your question, you'll have an option to display a cancellation notice if a client chooses to cancel that session before it's actually going to happen. So you can specify how many hours you want that before you want that cancellation message to show up in the platform. And we'll be tying this into our invoicing update as well. So if they do choose to cancel, you can then charge them for that cancellation.
Danielle, another one, is saying, thanks a lot, Natalie and Graham. This is a great tool, so looking forward to using it more and more. Seems like if their name is Danielle, you just like rocked it.
We'll take it. We'll take it.
And Melanie is thanking you very much for the demo and the platform and the assistant with her inquiries. So
yeah, and for all of you out there, just feel free to reach out to us. Our email is team@practicebetter.io. Whatever questions you have about the platform, we're always willing to answer them and to take your feedback and help improve the system, not just for you, but for all of your peers out there.
And and like Graham said, don't be shy. We understand it's a lot. The demo we went through today is a lot. So thank you for sticking with us through it. But if you need clarifications, I am more than happy to send you an email with details, or jump on the phone with you, or jump on Skype and really walk you through whatever issue you're having or whatever questions you have, because this is designed for you. So we want to make sure you're comfortable with with the features that are available.
And I have to say that the pricing is phenomenal. Like, so perfect for our profession. Like,
That's it.
something like, even if they went with the most expensive, it's still not expensive. And so that they can have the freedom, depending on where their practice is at, to have as many of the features as they want, because it's not that expensive.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
if you have an email service, and you have it can be the same price as your middle one there.
Exactly.
It just falls nicely in line with everything. It's
right.
Yeah, and we encourage everyone to get on board to sign up for our Sprout plan. That's our free plan. You can upgrade at any time. You can even downgrade at any time. So if you're noticing lulls in your practice, hopefully you're just going all the way up to the top. But yeah, you can do all of that within the platform that's available to you.
Yeah, there's a lot of flexibility. You're not tied into a contract. Just remember, this is coming from someone who was in the exact same position you may find yourself in now. I couldn't afford a lot of the things that were out there when I first started. And I find that we're the little guys, right? Not everyone's thinking about us and our specific needs. So,
it's a great product.
Thank you.
I don't think there's any other questions. We'll just wait a couple of minutes to see if anybody else has any questions.
Sure.
And I don't know with this system if there's a delay. I know on my other system there's always a delay between the time you say it and the time stuff comes in, but I don't see anything coming in.
I'm going to put up on the screen our email address. So if you want to.
And I'll put that in the email that goes out tomorrow as well.
Awesome.
Perfect. Thank you, Lorraine.
Have all that info. Because it's going to be very easy for me to encourage people to watch this. Now that I've seen it, and sorry.
Yeah.
And I think you'll get a lot of people watching the replay. It's like so perfect for us, just so perfect.
Awesome. That's great.
Awesome.
Okay, it does not look like we have any more questions. So I'm going to now